The call came in the middle of an extraction. Somalia. Dust. Gunfire. The sound of my heartbeat inside a metal skull. "Sergeant Hale," the radio crackled. "Secure the evac zone." Then, another voice cut through my comms. Civilian line. Emergency tone. A hospital nurse. Breathless. Mechanical. "Your son's in ICU. Severe frostbite. Your ex-wife's husband locked him in a commercial freezer for 3 hours." For a second, the desert went quiet. I didn't hear the shouting anymore. Didn't feel the rifle in my hands. Only the sound of my daughter crying faintly through the phone. "Daddy," he said. "He said we were bad." My commander's eyes found mine through the chaos. He'd heard. "Soldier, you have 72 hours. Personal leave. Go." I didn't speak, didn't even nod, just moved. Because when you've spent your life rescuing hostages, the last thing you expect is to rescue your own son from home. By the time the plane touched down, I wasn't a soldier. I was a storm wearing a uniform. The hospital smelled like bleach and truth. Cold, sterile. His little hand was wrapped in gauze, fingers purple beneath the bandages. The doctor's words blurred: hypothermia, tissue necrosis, possible amputation. My ex-wife stood by the window. Tears, but wrong kind. Performance tears. Guilt washed with panic. Her husband wasn't there. "He's scared," she whispered. I said nothing. I just stared at her reflection in the glass. The same woman who used to trace scars on my chest like stories. Now, she couldn't look me in the eye. That's when I felt it. The silence between her sentences. The way she clutched her phone. The faint smell of whiskey she thought I wouldn't notice. Something in me cracked, but didn't break. When you've hunted men through the dark, you learn the rhythm of fear. She was afraid, but not of me. Of what I might find. I started with his phone. Not hers. His. The freezer belonged to a chain restaurant he managed. Security cameras, logs, access codes, all conveniently malfunctioning that night. I requested footage through an old contact in cyber intel. Civilian ethics didn't apply to soldiers who'd buried ethics in the sand years ago. What I found wasn't just footage. It was motive. An argument. Her voice. His shouting. A crash. And then silence. 3 hours later, he reopened the freezer, dragged my son out by the arm. She helped wrap him in towels. Whispered, "He can't know." My hands trembled. Not from rage, from clarity. The kind that burns slow. That night, I sat in my car outside her house. Lights on upstairs. 2 silhouettes. Laughter. I watched the shadows move like ghosts who hadn't realized they were already dead. I could have kicked the door down. Instead, I waited. Control is the purest form of revenge. 2 days later, I walked into her living room. Calm, civil. Coffee in one hand, hospital discharge papers in the other. She looked startled, but tried to smile. He's better now. We're all..." I set my phone on the table, pressed play. The recording filled the room, her voice, pleading. The man's laughter, the sound of my son banging on the metal door. She froze, eyes wide, breath shallow. Then tears again, but this time they were real. He came downstairs mid-playback, face drained of color. He opened his mouth, no sound came. I turned to him. "You like freezers?" He didn't answer, didn't need to. I slid a manila envelope across the table, copies of the footage, timestamps, police statements already filed under a different jurisdiction. Her name was on the accessory report. I watched the light leave her eyes, watched the truth cave in everything she thought she controlled. I didn't raise my voice, didn't threaten, didn't curse. I just leaned forward and said, quietly, "You didn't lose me when you divorced me. You lost me when you stopped protecting what was mine." She broke then. No sound, just a silent collapse. Her husband tried to speak. I walked past him, paused by the freezer in the kitchen, opened it. Cold air hit my face. I smiled without warmth. Feels different when it's you, I said. Then I left. No slamming doors, no drama. Just footsteps. Steady, final. At the airport, I called the hospital. My son was stable. He'd asked if I was coming back. I never left, I told him. When the plane lifted, the city lights looked like embers. Each one a sin, each one a secret. I didn't feel grief anymore, just distance. Some men find peace in forgiveness. I found mine in truth. She'll live knowing the evidence will never go away. That every time a door closes, she'll hear that freezer lock behind her. And me? I have 72 hours left. Enough time to remember what it feels like to breathe without her lies in the air. Enough time to finally stop looking back. Sometimes revenge isn't about making them suffer. It's about watching them live with what they've done.